Screen share. It's asking me, do I want to share my sticky notes or the Torah text? Which should I do?
Well, maybe we can help you organize your sticky notes if you want.
I only have 2 that are, visible. So, and they're just basically Zoom passcodes and then my Mishberach list. Okay. So let's see where we left off. Okay, I know we did verse 14. Okay, we've done 15. We did 16, so we're on 17. Right?
Let's see, I'm trying to fix my screen so I can read it. Okay, now I've got a full screen mode. I think I can read it.
Okay, well, we did 16 quickly. Did anybody have any comments on that? It's that I did not know. And Rashi says it means that had he known that it was a holy place, he wouldn't have slept there. Does anybody have any comments on that? Okay, 17 is big Rashi wise. Wow. So I guess we're going to go there. Okay, Vayira Vayomar Ma, is that a Gimel?
Nun.
Or Nun?
It's a nun.
Manora Hamakom Hazeh Ein Zeh Ki Im Beit Elohim V'zeh Sha'ar Hashamayim. And he was frightened and he said, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. And then there's a huge Rashi here.
Okay. Ki im Beit Elohim. Amar Rabbi Elazar b'shem Rabbi Yossi ben Zimra. Hasulam hazeh omed bever sheva ve'emtza shipuo magia keneged Beit Hamikdash. Sheber Sheva omed bedroma shel Yehuda. Yerushalayim batzfona בגבול שבין יהודה ובנימין, ובית אל היה בצפון של נחלת בנימין, בגבול שבין בנימין ובין בני יוסף. נמצא סולם שרגליו בבאר שבע וראשו בבית אל, מגיע אמצע שיפועו נגד ירושלים. וכלפי שאמרו רבותינו שאמר הקדוש ברוך הוא, צדיק זה בא לבית מלוני, ויפתור בלא לינה, ועוד אמרו יעקב קרא לירושלים בית אל, וזו לוז היא, ולא ירושלים ומהיכן למדו לומר כן. אומר אני שנעקד הר המוריה ובא לכאן. וזהו היא קפיצת הארץ האמורה בשחיטת חולין, שבה בית המקדש לקראתו עד בית אל, וזהו ויפגע במקום. ואם תאמר, וכשעבר יעקב על בית המקדש, מדוע לא עקבו שם, אי הוא לא יהיב להתפלל במקום שהתפלל אבותיו, ומן השמיים שהתפללו אבותיו, ומן השמיים יעקבוהו, אי הוא עד חרן, אזל כדאמרינן בפרק גיד הנשה, והוקרא מוכיח וילך חרנה, כי מתה לחרן, אמר אפשר שעברתי על מקום שהתפללו אבותיי ולא התפללתי בו, יהב דעתיה למהדר וחזר עד בית אל וקפצה לו הארץ.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's then the house of God. Said Rabbi Eli, I'll give you a break. Said Rabbi Eliezer in the name of Rabbi Jose ben Zimra. So, okay, the text, he was frightened. He said, how awesome is this place? Is none other than the house of God. Okay, and that's what he's saying, none other, they're saying than the house of God. This ladder stood in Beersheba, and the middle of its incline reached opposite the temple, for Beersheba is situated in the south of Judah, and Jerusalem is situated in its north on the boundary between Judah and Benjamin. And Bethel was in the north of the territory of Benjamin, on the boundary between Benjamin and the sons of Joseph. Consequently, a ladder whose foot is in Beersheba and whose top is in Bethel in the middle of its slant is opposite Jerusalem. This accords with what our sages said, that the Holy One, blessed be he, said, this righteous man has come to my lodging place, i.e. the Temple Mount. Shall he leave without lodging? And furthermore, they said, Jacob called Jerusalem Bethel, but this place which he called Bethel was Luz and not Jerusalem. So from where did they learn to say, i.e. that Luz was Jerusalem? And by the way, even though I'm kind of reading quickly, if anybody wants to stop me and comment about anything we've said so far, fine. So don't feel like that it's like an interruption that's rude. It would be an interruption to add something meaningful. So feel free to interrupt and not to feel that it's an interruption. Just an addition. So from where did they learn to say this, that Luz was Jerusalem? I believe that Mount Moriah was uprooted from its place and it came here to Luz, i.e. at that time. Luz, Jerusalem, and Bethel were all in the same place. And this is the springing of the earth mentioned in Tractate Hulin, that the site of the temple came towards him until Bethel. But it also, I mean, seems to also go along with the whole land being folded under him. This is the meaning of Vayifga Bamakom, and he met the place. Yeah. Now, if you ask, when Jacob passed by the temple, why did he, God, not detain him there? The answer is, if he, Jacob, didn't put his mind to pray in the place where his forefathers had prayed, should they detain him from heaven? He went as far as Haran, and as it is stated in the chapter entitled Gid Hanesha, and the text, and he went to Haran, supports this. When he arrived in Haran, he said, is it possible that I have passed the place where my forefathers prayed and I didn't pray there? He decided to return, and he went back as far as Bethel, and the earth sprang toward him. This Bethel is not the one near Ai, but the one near Jerusalem. And because it was a city of God, he called it Beit El, the house of God. And that is Mount Moriah, where Abraham prayed, and that is the field where Isaac prayed. And so did they say in Sotah, concerning this verse, I guess Micah also, concerning this verse from Micah, come, let us go up to the mount of the Lord, to the house of God of Jacob. It is not called, as did Abraham, who called it a mountain, and not as did Isaac, who called it a field, but as did Jacob, who called it the house of God. Does anybody want to condense and explain?
I'm racking my brains to remember what Aviva Zornberg taught about this, because I know she taught this. This Rashi came up.
I have probably the book right here if you want to look it up.
I know it's maybe homework that should have come before, but one thing is the idea. Yes, yeah. If he got as far as Haran and then turned back, I don't know. Now this, I can't attribute this to Aviva, but just for myself, I'm saying that he got as far as Haran. In other words, that's a long way. And then he turned back and he got to he realized that he'd passed this holy place where his, not just they prayed there, but that this horrendous trauma had occurred where his grandfather almost murdered his father. And he walked by it as if it was nothing.
Well, it says the place where his forefathers prayed.
Right.
But it could mean Akedah because, I mean, maybe they were both praying that Isaac wouldn't be sacrificed. And the fact that they did make a sacrifice there is a type of prayer.
Yes. Well, it almost strikes me as a kind of a euphemism. He says, and that is Mount Moriah where Abraham prayed. Well, yes, it is Mount Moriah where Abraham prayed, but it's also Mount Moriah where Abraham almost sacrificed his son.
Mm-hmm.
So it just has a huge family. I mean, it's a place that obviously was designated for tremendous spiritual importance because that's where the temple was going to be built later. But it also, in this family already, in just the third generation, it's a place of incredible significance.
So it's interesting that Jacob not only realized that there was significance there, but thought to call it house of God, which is a little bit further than just realizing significance, but it's almost foreseeing the temple.
Well, and and his own dream, the fact that he himself has this dream there, and he says, how awesome is this place? In other words, he experiences it on a personal level as like, oh my God, this place is different.
And it doesn't necessarily mean awesome as in cool, like it's the modern usage of awesome.
I mean, the beginning of the pasuk is vayira, vayomer, manora. Those yira, nora are the same root.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's actually the next Rashi. So why don't you just go ahead and go there?
Okay. Manora. Targum ma dechilu atra hadin. Dechilu shem davarhu como suchlatanu.
You want me to look it up in Sefaria?
I guess, yeah, but
Sefaria has vowels.
uchesu lamalbush.
Oh, it has vowels in the on the other side. So you're right. Suchlatanu.
Suchlatanu. Now that's strange. Manora. How awesome is this place? Why don't you read the English and see what that is telling you?
Go ahead.
Should I read it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I just read the other one because it was so long what you did and I was giving you a break.
Oh, well, we were taking turns last time. You were reading the English.
I know. Oh, okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. Go ahead and read this.
All right. How awesome. The Targum renders how awesome Dechilu is this place. Dechilu is a noun, as in Targum of Exodus 31:3, understanding. Suchlatenu. Below verse 20, a garment, uchesu, to wear.
So is it a garment or is it understanding?
That's very mysterious. I do not understand the chilu, and I don't understand what the Targum is adding here. And I don't understand, no, don't get this one at all.
Well,
here's where we need Rabbi Miller.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I mean, I don't know if this is something I could look up easily in Aviva either, but I'm
Well,
just
I
trying-
have, well, no, all I'll get from this is another translation of Rashi, so that's not so useful.
Well, I mean, I can understand. Oh, the Targum. Wonder if that has it. No, I guess it just says this, but I'm wondering, I mean, understanding instead of awesome, I guess you have to understand to realize the awesomeness, but the garment, the only thing I can think of, and I'm just grasping at straws, is that,
I have something too.
okay, did you want to be off shy mode?
I blew it. I clicked the wrong thing. Thank you. I was thinking that when you have understanding, it's like you cloak yourself in it, like you wrap yourself in the talus.
That's exactly where I was going. Good job.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Great minds.
No, okay, that's it.
Well, yeah, because yeah. And to understand something, it's kind of, you have to kind of be wrapped fully in it. So that's the only thing I can think of. I don't know if that's what Rashi meant or not, but if Lisa and I both are thinking the same thing, I don't want to discount it, although Rabbi Miller might.
No, it's a good possibility because that's the vision that came to me immediately while you were reading it. And is it saying that we would be wrong? No, it's just to be included in our perceptions, our understandings, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I can think of. The deeper you get into something and, enveloped in it, the more you realize its awesomeness. And that is true with pretty much anything, even things you think you hate. The more you understand about it and the deeper you delve into it, the more you realize the awesomeness of it and not the shallow way in which you rejected it earlier.
Nice.
The only other, this is Jocelyn, the only other thought that I had is the other significant garment would be that of Yosef. Maybe it's a remez to that time.
Well, when I think of those garments, I also think of Jacob cloaking himself in the mantle of Esau. And there's a lot of, and then there's Joseph's coat that sows division, intensifies division with him and his brothers. And then there's the garment on Joseph that Potiphar's wife grabs onto and uses that against him. So he had the one garment used for him, but kind of against his brothers, and the other garment used against him. And I kind of connect all of that to the cloak of that Jacob put on, and that this was all part of some kind of continuity. I don't know if this, so I thought about this kind of stuff when I thought about garments, but I don't know how to place it with, well, I guess as far as understanding, it also, if it was reminding you of things yet to come, you're thinking about the continuation of the story, just as he was thinking about this as the house of God without knowing that the temple was going to be here, that maybe this is also a prediction, of the coming story.
I don't want to detract from anything you guys have been saying, because, there can be different levels of this. But the Siftei Chachamim, which is a commentary on Rashi, he says that Rashi is just making a grammatical point here. and he's saying, when the Targum says, Ma dechilu atra haden, which presumably means, how awesome is this place? And then Rashi brings up dechilu shem davarhu. Dechilu is a noun. Kamo suchlatenu v'chisu lamabush. In other words, he's bringing two more examples of words of singular nouns in Hebrew that end with a vav, but they're singular nouns, which is a very strange looking singular noun in Hebrew, but he's saying that's what it is.
So the
And-
last two words in the Rashi, it says the uchsu lemalbush. So the first one is garment, and then to wear.
I guess so.
So
Uh,
he's just saying that there's precedent. So the precedent may be meaningless.
He's saying that, well, it's almost like he's explaining the Targum and not explaining the Hebrew, which is usually the opposite of what he does. He usually uses the Aramaic Targum to explain the Hebrew of the verse. I don't know. This is tricky.
Well, okay. Yo, this thing that I'm moving around, this is participant stuff. Y'all don't see that, I assume.
Oh yeah, I keep seeing you switch things around back and forth, sliding across my screen.
You see this?
That, yes, I see that, but I also see the screen, the text moving away.
Yeah,
and
the
then-
text, no, I was moving the text to try to get the whole text and to try to get rid, this minimize this being in the way. I don't know how to get rid of this. Okay,
Oh.
anyway, so that's why I was moving the text.
The
But
text,
when I do
now-
that, it kind of, yeah.
the text is now hiding the English on my left side of my screen.
What is?
The text is now pushed off to my left side of the screen, hiding some of the English instead of where it was centered before.
Oh, the text hasn't moved side to side. It's only moved up and down. So I'm not sure why.
I don't know. Okay. Well, it has to do with it following the cursor.
So
There
what
you
about,
go. There you go. Now it's
Okay.
centered.
well, that's something I wasn't aware of. But now we've discovered something new. So let's do the final Rashi.
Oh, okay. Where
And I'm not sorry we had those ideas, by the way, even
No.
if the ideas aren't really valid, because they really have nothing to do with the text.
well, but it's always okay to free associate too.
I agree. It's
Yeah.
helpful. It's still just,
Yeah, it may not be what Rashi had in mind, but
yeah.
we
but
still,
we're
don't quite know what that was. Anyway,
Hello. And we're
Yeah.
allowed to have our own interpretations also of the words, not just somebody else's knowledge, but we're allowed to be in the text ourselves.
Yeah, but we weren't interpreting the text, we were interpreting the Rashi.
Oh,
So it's a little
Thank you.
different.
thank you. I forgot.
well, I am curious. Maybe if I remember later tomorrow or something, I can look up this dechilu and try to figure out what that actually means. Anyway, should I do the last one there?
Sure.
V'zeh shar hashamayim. Makom tefillah la'alot tfilatam hashamayma. Umidrasho shebeit hamikdash shel mala mechaven keneged beit hamikdash shel mata.
And this is the gate of heaven, a place of prayer where their prayers ascend to heaven. And its midrashic interpretation is that the heavenly temple is directed exactly towards the earthly temple. Place of, okay. And this is the gate of, see, one reason I was trying to move this is so that we could also see the text itself. But this thing is in the way, but I'll just go back and forth.
Yeah, that works.
So how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven, he's saying. And this is the gate of heaven, a place of prayer where their prayers ascend to heaven. And it's the heavenly temple is directed exactly towards the earthly temple.
I think I'm having the image of a satellite that's, there's some satellites that always orbit the Earth exactly above the same spot.
And I'm thinking it means a direct connection.
And I mean, here it says prayers ascend, but is it being directly on top? It says directed towards the earth. So it reminds me also of the angels going up and down. There's up and down here. It's not just up. It's not just up from earth.
Mm-hmm.
There is a down from heavenness about it, which, you know, with Jacob, there continues always seems to be that whatever meets him, it's not just his doing, but meeting heaven or mountains or whatever, cities, lands.
Well, that's what keneged means in a way. Keneged means opposite. Like, you know, when it says that God made Adam and Eve and he made Eve ezer kenegdo,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same word. They're like opposite, they're facing each other.
Oh, so that kind of opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it only that, so is it only just the fact that they're facing each other, I guess this way, as opposed to, you know, the prayers go up and something else coming down?
Well, it's like they're located in a certain relation to each other, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like they're opposite each other in this sense.
Yeah, like there's not one without the other in a sense also, I guess. They're part of a parallel set. Okay, so the next two don't have Rashis. Vayash came Yaakov, Baboker, Vayikach et ha'even asher sham mira'astav, Vayasem ota matseva v'yitzok shemen al rosha. Jacob arose early in the morning and he took the stone that he'd placed at his head and he set it up as a monument and poured oil on top of it. Vayikra et Shem hamakom hahu Beit El, v'ulam Luz Shem ha'ir La Roshana. And that he named the place Beth El, but Luz was originally the name of the city. So even though Rashi isn't saying anything here, what about you guys?
Well, it strikes me that luz in Spanish means light.
Right.
I don't think that's probably relevant because that's not a language that it must have been in. But.
Yeah, I have no idea. Luz may be, do you know, Sherbeth, in terms of Aramaic or Hebrew or any Semitic Luz language?
No, but of course Rashi spoke Old French.
Yeah, but that's not French.
But he doesn't comment here.
But also many words have come from the Hebrew too, that we've got in our language that Spanish has in it that other languages have.
That's true. I'm not sure if this is the case here. I'm looking it up. I'm just Googling it. It says a place for living forever.
I find it interesting about the stone that he had placed at his head. And then he set that up, like his dream was set up as a direct connection.
Here it says Luz means almond tree. The nut-bearing tree, almond. Well, anyway, okay, I'm sorry, Lisa, I was looking at that and I didn't hear what you said.
I just think it's interesting about the stone that he had placed at his head that set up as a monument, like the dream and the realization of that dream was where his head was, and it was set up as a monument, kind of like a cornerstone of your book. Huh?
Sorry.
No, go, Jocelyn, go.
No, I was responding to something Judy was saying. Sorry.
Oh, cool.
I can mute
I'm done.
Well, What is the Hebrew word there they use for monument?
Let's see. Set it up as a monument, matseva.
So the word is matseva,
Yeah,
and that
matseva.
means monument.
Yeah, although interestingly, it's connected to the word up above where it said God was kind of like standing over him
Mhm.
when he had this dream. It's the same root. It's the same shorish.
And what is the root? Mem tzadi vet? Vet? Is it,
No, the mem isn't part of the root. It would be like,
so is it kind of related to the word that means hosts or armies?
no.
Or
No.
commandment?
Wow, interesting. Not obviously. Not obviously. I don't think so, but maybe way
Well,
back.
I'm confused with Sav turtle and Sav commandment. One of them has a bet and one of them has a vet, and a vav, and I don't remember. Maybe commandment has a
Yeah,
vav.
commandment has a vet. It's not a bet in there.
Okay.
That's a different shorish. But nitzav, oh, I think nitzav is also used regarding the ladder itself. Yeah, v'hine, let's see. Vayachalom v'hine sulam mutzav. That's a different form of it. And behold, the ladder is set up. And then later, it's set up is the same root. And then
Okay.
later it says, and God is standing, v'hine Hashem nitzav alav. And behold, God is nitzav, like
So I think
standing.
it's
over
erect. Like, going up towards heaven, erect,
Yeah, erect, vertical, present,
Mhm.
that kind of thing.
Okay, well then, good morning, Lee. I'll stop the recording. If I
Good
can
morning.
figure out how.
Good morning, Lee. I hope your harvest was bountiful.
Okay, stop the
Oh,
share
it
first.
was. It
Now I can
was.
stop the recording.
I've never been so tired in ages.
A good tired.